Hi, this is Everett, Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to do another drawing demonstration with Simply Drawing with Everett. So my other camera wasn't working this morning, so I'm going ahead and just go use these two cameras here. So first of all, I'm going to take it to my drawing table. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to draw a building. I went out and found the building this morning and did a quick sketch. I thought I'd bring it back in and then demonstrate not only how to draw the building, maybe put a little pen and ink in it, but also how to add some color. I'm going to use watercolor on top of the paper, so you might find it interesting. So let me go to my painting table and let me get started. I'll go over to my close-up. Okay, well there's the building I saw this morning, a big old building, a brand new building going up here nearby, but interesting shape. I like all the windows and so forth. Okay, I'm going to show you how I would draw that and put some detail and dimension on it. So I'm going to put that over here. Now this is Bristol, Strathmore Bristol paper, 9.5 by 9 by 12 sheet of Bristol paper, which is good for drawing on. But I can also use a light wash watercolor, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start drawing here. I've got the 2B pencil, and I'm going to start sketching here. So I'm going to start. I start here in the front end of the building. This front end. That's where I always start. So I'll start out there at the top, and I'll bring it over a little bit more. Okay, put the center right there. Okay, and then bring that on down. That's the center of this corner here. I start with the closest edge, right there, and that rooftop. The rooftop. You can see the angle over there. It's got about almost 30 degrees. So not quite 30, maybe 20 degrees. Slopes off here to the side. Get that in. And then there's this, I love this little rooftop. It comes over here, it slants off this way. And then there's a little corner which comes out. Put that out. And then it slants down this way. Okay, now this corner here, and this is the edge of the roof. So I'm going to leave that in. It's got a white edge. We'll leave that in. I'm going to draw that in. So draw the edge of the roof. And there's an edge over here. Okay, so we're roughing that in. Remember, we're just drawing with pencil now. And then this corner here has got the rooftop, come to the edge of the building. So we'll come over here. This comes up here to the edge. This comes out here along the side. And then it goes back this way, this side. This is the rooftop edge of the roof. And this comes over here. This is the edge of the building with a roof over top. That's going to come along there. Okay, so that's the top of it. Then there's this section here, which is this light color. And that's kind of goes down to here. And this is, I can draw this edge here. So the edge comes all the way down. In the center here. And there's an edge, there's another corner here on this side, another corner with a window, corner of the edge window over this side. Bring that on down. Bring that on down. Okay. And then this window, let's see, now I've got this is this, oh, that's the edge of the roof. Got that. This is this part here. Now I got the window started in here. So let's bring this up a little bit. Okay. Bring it up just a little bit more. All right. This is the edge along here. This is this edge at the bottom, just below the rooftop. That's the top of the building, or top of the structure. Bring that over here. Okay. We'll get these windows in here. I'm going to rough the windows in. Let's see. I'm going to start here. This window. There's another window about the same size. And this is a little bit narrower. And this is much wider. You can notice that the windows start getting a little bit more level as you come down on the building. There's a wider window here. And at the bottom base. Okay, so I can pretty well tell where the base is now. Okay, then I can cut this off This is going to slope out this way a little bit. And over here, this is going to go back this way slightly. Now I can see here I might have that roof a little bit too much angle, so I'm going to have to just change that just a little bit. So this is what your initial draft drawing is for, is to make corrections. So I'm going to come up and make this a little bit less angle. Yeah, that's better. Make it look a little more. Okay. All right, that looks a little better. And then the edge of the end of the building is going to be somewhere down here. Just kind of rough it in. Okay. And these windows I've got here, here, here. I got this larger window here, smaller here, here. Okay. And these have also windows here. Dividers down here. Let's bring this one down. So I'm roughing in the shapes now. Okay, I'm going to draw this side over here now. I'll come around the door corner here, and that first window is about right here, and it goes all the way up. So that's the first window, first big window over here on the top. Okay, then we come along here and we pick another one up and put another one in. I'm not going to draw all these windows, but I'm going to just put enough in here just to demonstrate how far I can go with this. And I'll put one more in. They get a little bit smaller as I get further down in the building. Then there's some windows way down here, but I'm not going to put those in. They're just going to be, right now, I'll leave them out. I'm going to add them in back in later. Okay, and this window here comes down. See the angles the perspective on the building changes as you come down. These get a little more level with the horizon line. Horizon line's about right in here, so these will all be pretty parallel with the horizon line. These three windows here. A lot of windows in this building, but you know it'd be interesting to paint. Now I got these dividers now. It comes along here. I'll put these dividers, and I'll come down here. These are like four panes to a window, and divide those in half. Okay, now I'll come over here. Now I'll put a couple windows in over here. So I'll come down here. This one is on this side, so the bottom of this window is going to be about right here. And it goes all the way up to the top, has angles, and I'll come over one, I'll get one more in. Again, I'm not going to draw on all the windows, just draw in enough to tell exactly where we are. This might be a little bit too sharp here too, so I have to bring that up a little bit. I'm going to erase this one, get that angle off a little bit more. I'm correcting my drawing as I go along. Make it a little more accurate. This is an angle. This is slowing down. These are got 4 planes in there also. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There's one down here at the base, so it equals this one right here, right below this other window. Comes down to this spot here. Okay, and I'm going to leave the entranceway alone right now. Just get that. So I just want to really concentrate on this corner here, and the rest will just kind of fade off. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some paint. Well, first of all, I'm going to put in. Now that I've got the outline in and the rough, now I'm going to use my pen, and put in my definition now. So I'm going to put in some definite lines here. These will be the corners. Give us a little bit more. So I'm really going to emphasize the corner here. The rest is going to be less defined. This corner here is well defined. This corner here is well defined. Okay. And I think this this edge here is well defined. And the bottom edge. I'm kind of emphasizing definition-wise just about the most important sections. And this edge along here that shows the corner there, and this corner out here will have a little bit of perspective going back that way. Then this edge here will make sense here. And the rooftop. Okay. All right. Now let's define these windows just a little bit. This window here is going to come in about right here. It won't be all the way in. So there's a little edge. There's a little red edge along here. The brick edge goes along this window here. Okay. There's also an edge over here. Be a red edge. Make sure I will define those. Those are the bricks. That's the brick locations. Okay. All right. And I think I might want to define the rooftop up here just a little better. Make an ink line along there and maybe along here. Okay. All right. So I'm really defining this section in here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start putting some paint in. So the first thing I'm going to use, I think what I'll do is let me go to my painting table. So we're going to take you over to the overhead camera, to the overhead. Okay, so on this side over here, I've got my palette ready. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to apply some paint here. This is really the demonstration. Once you do an outline and you get your either get your ink in there or whatever, the next thing we're going to do is kind of put some color in here. So the first thing I do is take a flat brush. This is a half-inch flat brush, and I'm going to mix the color. The color of that brick there is about burnt sienna and a little bit of red in it. And I don't want it too dark, too light. I mean wet. Almost a dry brush. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load the brush and tap it on a tissue, and then I'm going to go in here and just paint this edge here. So this light brown brick is just a very light layer of paint. And it's very dry. I don't have very much water in there at all. I'm just going to indicate down to this level here as far as the bricks go. This Bristol paper, like I said, takes a light wash, so it's very, rather than using watercolor paper, which I could, I thought I'd use a drawing paper, put the drawing on, and then go in and put in the paint on top of that. So again, go back, load the brush a little bit, make sure it's nice and dry. I don't want it too wet, just damp. Just damp. Get that in. So I'm adding a little bit of color now to my drawing. which makes it interesting. There's a middle section in here I got to get in. Okay. All right. And then the other section over here, this is this corner here has got some brick on this corner, so I'll fill that in. This corner turns the toner, so it's got brick, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Then this corner over here, facing inward. Get this edge. Okay, and load the brush again. Not very much water now, just very light, just enough to get the paint wet, damp. Come in and put this side in. And get this edge over here on the side of the window. Okay, all right. And then the rest of it, I could fill it in. Now the other color there, I might use a little bit of yellow ochre. Not exactly the same color as on the photograph. I'll use yellow ochre as another color. Again, dry brush, very little paint in there. And go ahead and put this in. I'm using yellow ochre here. Burnt sienna was my first color I put on the bricks. With a little bit of red in it. Burnt sienna, just a touch of pyro red. And now I'm putting a little bit of, for that border up there, or trim up there at the top, I'm putting in this yellow ochre for the top. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do some of the windows. I think the windows are interesting too. I think I'm going to use cobalt blue. You can see the blue on from the windows from the sky, and also they're in shadow because there's no lights on the inside inside the window. So I use a little bit of the same brush, but very little water in the paint. Very little water, just to get dampen the brush. Now I'm going to go in now. I'm going to try to leave some white paper for the edge of the windows. Come in here and just do a little bit, a touch. Leave a little bit of white paper showing for the edge of the windows. Just to give you an idea of how you would use a little bit of color on your drawings to make them more interesting. And adding watercolor to your drawings, or color pencil. You could use color pencil also. But I thought I haven't done this before on demonstrations. I thought it would be a fun thing to show. Now here I'm going to do it really quick. Now notice I missed a little brown up here, so I'll put that in. Okay, there's the windows there. I'm just going to play around a little bit more with this one over here. There's windows here. There's 4 windows over here. I got to get a little more. Let's get enough water in the brush to keep the enough moisture in the brush to keep the brush flat. A leave a little bit of white showing to show those window frames, and that's all. That's what all that is. Just a simulation. Okay. Now the windows here. Load that brush up, see if I can go a little bit faster here. Using a corner brush here just to keep it from filling in the whole spot. You'll leave a lot of white paper showing. Simulating those white corners of the window. Okay, now up here, this is in shadow, so I'll just take a little bit of that ultramarine. No, this is yellow ochre, and then add a little bit of purple in there. This is quinacridone violet. Add that to that, and I'll gray that down, and maybe a little bit of Payne's gray, make it a little duller. And that'll be the shadow pattern. It'll be the shadow color underneath the rooftop. And I'll leave the white trim on the top, just the way it is in a photograph. Okay, just to finish this off a little bit right there. And that's as far as I'll go. I left a lot of it done, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to concentrate on this little corner of the building itself to show how I would draw and then highlight it with the pen, with a black ink, a waterproof pen, and then add a little bit of color with a paintbrush, okay? Using Bristol paper. And I think it come out pretty good. I mean, there's the design. I could spend a lot more time on that, and I could play with it, make it sharper all I wanted to. I could add color pencil on it. Color pencil, a little more control maybe with a pencil, maybe. Okay, well that concludes my demonstration for today. So let's go back to my main camera. Okay, now that was a lot of fun. I love to draw and using a pen also. But I was out sketching this morning. I did just a pen and ink sketch of the same building, and then I put that on one of my shorts on the YouTube. You can see that on there if you got the shorts on YouTube. But this was a way to do a drawing with a pen. After you get an outline in there with roughly with a pencil, and then go in with a paintbrush or a colored pencil or whatever, and then put some color on top of it. Now this was Bristol paper, so it will take water and paint, but a very light wash, which is what I did, just a demonstration today. So that was a lot of fun. I hope that interests you, and I hope you enjoyed that. So give me a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe to my channel. If you're subscribed, you'll be notified of all my future paintings. And I got over 1,000 paintings on my YouTube channel, so you can enjoy looking at those and looking at all the things I've done in the past. So until then, see you next week on another demonstration of drawing, simply drawing with Everett. So until then, you all stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.